creation of the man. There is one point we have to understand. As you saw in the introduction video, when you have the nano layers created out of the mass of the body of the copper, each nano is connected. All those dots you see is you, your soul, with the soul next to you, and connected to other souls further up from you. When you see those nano dot layers in the introduction video, replace those dots with the soul of the man. You see how you gap, you see how you interact. This is what our soul is a collection of fields which stands on its own. It dictates its position in regard to its atmosphere, to its condition in the environment which is it is. Now we have to go a step further. As I said, we always looked as a means of transportation into cars, into donkey, into bicycle, in the present time, into jetliners, and we look at into a spaceship. But we have to learn how we used to go to the shop and buy a pair of jeans or a jacket to cover this body. Now we understand that it's us who decides the process of new travel in the space, in the dimensions of the creator, and how we dress it, how we manifest it. If you go back to the teaching of last week and many other teachings we've done, and a paper which I've written, it calls ILS, is a death wish which comes true. So if we wish it, we wish to die, we wish to separate the soul of the physicality from the soul of the totality of the existence, the creation of life of the man. We have that power. It's been embedded and is so strong for those who find it that they can do it. Now, the process of the use of the essence of the creation, which is soul of the man, for transportation, is not to terminate a life, but to reunite the essence of the soul of physicality with the essence of the soul of the creation of the physicality, which is what we call the soul of the man. In the presentation last week, when we saw the magnets, and when we put the magnet inside a bigger magnet, this was a manifestation of the physical soul of the man, that it could enter and be within the soul of the man, and then choosing the space and dimension. This does not mean death. This does not mean end of a life of a soul. But this means the collaboration and understanding more between the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man. It's a new technique we have to learn. You all know what to do. It's just that you could never connect it to do it. Many of you made the Ganses. Go back to the very original teachings as I refer to. You have seen when you put Ganses together, they start creation of motion and spacing in how they want to rotate. Now understand the body of the man, the physical body of the man, is the Ganses which they rotate within the center, which is the soul of the man. Now you can gather the essence of the physicality of the man, which is the Ganses rotating, and take it as a field within the center. Then you can release it, which means when you are used to now, as we have taught, the emotion affects the fields which they come from the soul, that it shows itself, manifests itself as the physicality of the presentation of the soul of the physicality, which is tear, crying, laughter, joy, pain. When you take the physicality of the man, the soul of physicality of man, and you take it inside the soul of the man, nothing changes. The physical soul of the man in interaction within the soul of the man will still feel all the feelings which you carried externally. There is no need for termination, but becomes now working within, inside each other. But instead of physicality out, the soul stays as a protector of the physicality, physical soul of the body of the man, till the soul of the man finds the position where the physical essence of the soul of the physicality wants to find and finds a new environment which the soul confirms to him is a peaceful. You can try. We are used to always having the soul within us and manifesting ourselves in the essence of the physicality. Now, to travel the depth of the space, you need to protect the soul of physicality. And that is, now, with the knowledge we have, with understanding of the correctness of the soul, we can take the soul of the physicality to be within the soul of the man. That is protected in the time of travel. Then, traveling the dimensions of the universe become timeless, effortless. In a present scientific world, we call it zero-time transportation. But the question is, how do we do this? How come when we wish to die in an instant, we manage to give a command to interfere with the fields of the soul of the man, that it gave the instruction to the physical communication line, which we call the brain of the man, to start the process of separation of the two. We want to divorce the two souls. Now we have to learn, and we have to be educated, and we have to practice that we do not destroy or separate, but we rejoin, we unify, we rebalance the soul of the physicality in a way that it can enter, within the soul of the man. Which means it becomes the center itself. It's literally like a jacket two-sided. You reverse it inside out. Where now the soul becomes the protector of the physicality, where at the present life of the man, the physicality of the man is a protector of the soul, which we put brain around it, we put the skull around it, we feed it with the physicality of the man to exist. If we could go in the path of intention to end the life, through ILS, through the wish to separate the soul, then we know a path that we can use to enter the soul of the man and reside in it, till the time comes when we want to manifest ourselves. Many of you made many reactors, dynamic, you made different cores. You always observe the physicality where I told you, observe the fields. To become the passenger of the space without a spaceship, to travel with the strength of the soul of the man, now you have to do the same. But the difference this time is that you have to be able to transform, to have control over all souls of totality of the physicality of the man, that you can summon, that they go to a higher order, that now that the soul of the man becomes of the lower that the soul of the physicality takes center in the center of the soul of the man. For many of you, this is very hard to understand. But many of those of you who are not highly educated and you have worked through the ethos of yin and yang, balance between the physicality and the soul, will achieve this very rapidly. Those of you who were connected to the punishment of the physicality will have a harsh time with this. Those of you who are of Chinese background, who believe and understand the operation of the soul and the physicality in the language of Chinese being transferred to yin and yang, will walk through this. Because you only need to understand how what you already knew to put into practice. This is the hardest part, because now the physicality, the way you interacted with the soul through the emotion, now become the soul, the physical part of the manifestation in the no dimension bandwidth of the energies of the universe. Then the space travel, the color of the change of the eye, the height, the change of the hair, the change of the presentation manifestation becomes child's play. You need this, as when you enter into space, unless you always want to wear a spacesuit and not to be free, then you need to learn. You need to practice. As I said, when you become astronaut, you practice for 7 years. But you can practice for 7 days, understand the true essence of the creation of your physical life, and become the man of space, to travel through the strength of the soul of the man. Then, as we say, the universe is your oyster. There is no limitation in how you manifest yourself, and there is no limitation in where to manifest yourself. Remember one point. We teach for the spectrum of creations across the universe. Some of the man will achieve this today in a short come to come, and some of the men will struggle for a long time because they never understood the truth about their own creation. And at the same time, those who are in the deep space, or those who are in the deep space who are with us, who've been looking for understanding of knowledge, they've been enlightened to take the next step. Many, many times in the recent past, as man's technological knowledge and expertise becomes more and more profound, in to be able to look at the deeper and wider spectrum of life, we call it different ways of detection, by cameras or whatever, by field detectors, we have observed lives would change, and out of nowhere it changes back. We see manifestation of physicality observed out of nowhere. These are the creatures who have managed to do what I have just taught. What this means? It means these creatures of Creator have managed to understand how to enter into the dimension of the soul and use the soul as protection, and then remanifest themselves in the dimension of physicality of the space of, in the dimension they want to manifest themselves. It's a flick of a finger. Much faster than a flick of a finger. But you can teach yourself. How do we do this? It comes through the purity of understanding of giving. Because now you have to give so much from the soul of physicality that the soul of the man becomes the lover of his soul, of which he created. In so many ways, The soul of the man is the Adam. And the soul of the physicality of the man is Eve. By giving so much, the Eve becomes part of the Adam, but stays still as Eve itself. That it can give so much love by giving, that it is taken in, confirming the weakness, confirming the higher strength of the Eve within the Adam. That Adam protects. We call it in the English language sacrifice, but there is no sacrifice. You do what you like. I'm there to give. I have fed you, and in time you want, I protect you. In so many ways, the soul of the man always stays the protector of the man. In physicality within, and in the dimension of the soul of the physicality within itself. In so many ways, we have to learn how to summon the soul of the physicalities. And this needs practice. All of you can do. Every man who becomes sincere to himself and nobody else, you do not need to prove to nothing and no one except yourself, then as long as you do not harm no one by manifesting yourself in any dimension, even on this planet, you can change yourself. We have done this by changing color, changing the color of our skin, changing the color of our eyes, our hair, as we have moved across this planet, as I explained in the previous teaching. Now, we have to go through what you call the evolution, and change the word evolution to understanding of the condition of the position. It's taken us 1 million years to evolve according to what we wanted, and our physicality through the operation of our soul has changed it to allow us to survive. Now, if you understand, we can do this evolution instantaneously. We can evolve. We have a sanctuary called the soul of the man, that when we feel the condition is okay and it's what we want to be, we can manifest ourselves. In a way, our soul continuously uses us as the lover that can love unconditionally, be it manifested in a physical matter or being within the soul itself. How can we expand? How can we understand? And how can we go to the step, to the next step of change? It has taken them millions of years, and it takes us around 7 to 10 years to learn to change this manner. But unfortunately, the body of the man has got billions of spanners we have to learn how to work with. Or we understand the common denominator between all the cells of the man, that we can summon, and we can arrange the way the man with the ILS arranged his separation. We arrange a path to the soul of the man, and then we evolve. Then we expand. Then we understand how we can transmute. We can, in so many ways, travel the depth of the space on this planet and still be the same, of the same feeling and the same understanding. This is going to be very hard for many of you. We have seen a lot of people having problem with the resurrection, which we talked last week, because this was not in their book. This is not what they thought it'll be, because it was the magic they're waiting for, and now the magic is them. They are the creator of magic, and this is what we got to learn. But how do you do it? How do you manage to be able to transfer the physicality in one part or in totality, to bring it within the soul of the man, and then manifest itself at the point of desire. One thing you got to remember, and that is, we created the physicality of ourselves. What are we afraid of? To do it again? But last time it was left to the affairs of environment of the planet. This time we do it with the full control of ourselves. This time we decide on how then the environment of the womb of the mother, or the condition of the atmosphere, or the position of the planet to decide. This time we are in charge. But don't forget what I said very earlier on. We use the emotion to separate the soul of the man from the soul of physicality of the man. Now, we should do the same. The desire to live, the desire to be part of the soul has to be so strong, and we learn how to do it, that we can jump in and jump out. We can join in and join out. We can create and become the creator, or to be created out of the wish of the balance between the souls of the physicality and the soul of the man. Try it. If the desire is so deep to be with your lover, to give to the lover, that you become the lover then being loved, you will achieve it. This is the key to the transition. This is why from the beginning I always explained giving as loving. Not one loving thyself, but one loving the lover. That truly we give unconditionally to our soul, that allows us to have a higher strength, that we become the center of the soul. Is very much like loving. You walk on the street, live a normal life. You see a man or a woman, you fall in love. And then the life of that man or a woman becomes the center of your life. Anything for him or her. Now, it's the same operation. For a conversion of the physicality, the soul of the physical part of the body of the man, to become the center of the soul of the man. In so many ways, we have to become very good lovers. But not lovers just to gain something to prove. The true lovers, that we are there to give unconditionally, that the soul decides in respect to the emotion of the soul of physicality, where and how to manifest itself. In so many ways, it's like a taxi and a man walking in the street. When you get in the taxi becomes the carrier of you while you were outside in respect to the taxi. You're still in, and he carries your emotion and your wish to take you to a destination. To the destination which you want. Do you ever get off a taxi when it takes you to the wrong address? Or do you get off the taxi in a hurry when you know your lover is waiting for you inside? Now you understand why I've been teaching this way. That's why there is no more punishment in the new cycle. As a lover never harms, we become lover of our soul, and with it, the soul is always balanced in respect to the others. That in that respect, it does not take what does not belong to it. Then there is no need for writing new books and new orders, because the lover always respects the loved one. And it gives unconditionally to become part of. And I keep on saying, how do we do it? It's the story of banana and peeling the banana. The more you peel, the more manifests itself of the higher strength. In so many ways, in so many ways, we have to become to know how much we love our soul, how much we love our own existence. In so many ways, we have to become to understand the power of our existence in a physical dimension. Because we have always ignored it. And ignoring it, others in the name of religion have taken advantage of our ignorance. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a picture of a president. And I knew it's a cause of a lot of problems for a lot of souls. And I said, I wish your soul elevates, that the other souls find their freedom. And strange enough, he resigned in the past 24 hours. I didn't put it as coincidental. I put it as a correct wish to elevate the soul. Now, we have to understand, we have a lot of powers. In my capacity, I can change through my wish many things, as we have started doing. But, in so many ways, all of you can have that wish. Now, the wish is the strength of the soul of your physicality. Now play the game. If you have managed to reach another soul, to elevate it, through your wish, through the energy of the soul of yourself, now start learning how to bring all these fields together, that you can enter the realm of the soul of the man, which is yourself. Then you'll find out you can travel the spans of universe in no time. We always saw death and separation as the ultimate position. But if we start learning that amalgamation is the new way, than destruction, to join in to become one is more important and more powerful than splitting not to have none, then you understand there will be no wars, not even in the physical dimension of the nations, and not even within the physicality of the man. And I keep on saying, how do we do it? It's as easy as thinking about it. You summon to the strength of the soul, for the soul of the physicalities to find a new balance. That with it, you can be part of internal existence of yourself. It means you go through your emotion and through the emotion you create what we said before in many of the teachings. Stronger plasma gives to the weaker, that it elevates it to the level of itself. And if the totality of what is given and internal fields are higher, it absorbs it to itself. But as the soul of the man has no barriers, he'll bring it to be embedded inside itself. Understand the past 5 sentences. You have found the path to the truth, to the how to enter and be able to travel into the space through the strength of your own soul. Many souls travel within the spaceships or aircraft or crafts as you call it, and then at given point they decide to use their soul and the manifestation of the entity within them, which we call the soul of the physicality, at that point to manifest themselves as an entity of that location and that point. So it needs a lot of learning. It needs a lot of confidence that I can do it, and any of you can achieve it. Because in the space is not selective, but it's the one who knows how to do it. It's not this man can do, the other cannot. We all can. But we have to have a trust that we are of higher elevation, higher value, higher strength, that being higher, the soul of the man allows the, what I call transmutation, to become inside out, to allow itself to become weaker, to transmute to a lower level that allows the higher level, which is the physicality, the soul of the man, to become the center. You made the cores, you made the ganses. Now find a connection to the path, to the soul of your physicality, that you can transform it to become a higher level lover, that the soul of the man becomes the cloth of the physicality, the soul of physicality. and you all understand. The soul gives to bring the other soul to the level of itself. But if the other soul is a higher giver, now moves in the center, that it becomes to give from inside. Transmutation of the field, as I've said in the other teachings, is the key to understanding the world of creation, not the transmutation of elements. And these teachings and all the teachings we've done in the past few weeks is the transmutation of the field, where you can then transmute to the field strength of the manifestation as you never change into the matter state. This goes back to the medical teaching and the health teachings, where we always say, even in the space teaching, the interaction of the three fields of the plasma gives the manifestation of the physicality of the man. Be it the skin has 3 layers, the stomach lining has 3 layers, the eye has 3 layers, everything, because it needs 3 dynamic fields of the magnetic, in a plasmatic condition you call it, to create the manifestation. One field comes from soul of the man. One field comes from the soul of the destination. And one field comes from the soul of the physicality. Then manifests itself in the physicality of the man. Physicality in the universe is nothing but illusion of detection. Even a stone. Even a stone.